This week for our 90 and 90, we're circling back to the AMP group at Modesto and talking to Rhett and Chantel, who are both Unileg users and patients of Trevor's at the AMP group. And so they get to give their experience with the Unileg and with Trevor, and pretty cool conversations.
I'm David Slider, the Adventurous Amputee. We're here at the AMP group here in Modesto, California, talking to
Rhett Avant.
I want to get a little bit of background on you and your story.
April 18, it was a Good Friday 2024. Yeah, 2024. I was riding to work. I'm a career fireman for the City of Merced Fire Department. I've been a fireman for just about 10 years now. And I was heading to work and I didn't navigate a turn correctly and was looking like my trajectory is coming in line with the semi. Through some braking and whatnot, I ended up missing the semi, but I caught the last rear of the trailer tire. And it basically just deleted the whole left side of my bike. Flipped me, spun me, landed me on the road. Foot was still attached, but mangled. There were some people that showed up to help out, but there was a lot of language barriers. So I ended up, I tourniqueted my own leg. I did my own 911 call. I ended up calling my wife's best friend and my best friend before, like, hey, I called my best friend at work, like, hey, I'm not gonna make it to work. I need you to tell everybody at work, take care of that. And then I called my wife's best friend, like, hey, like, she's gonna need you. Thank God, the only thing, like, I said the only thing, my foot was obviously mangled, but I had a laceration on my elbow that took like 3 staples, and that was it. No road rash, no head trauma.
Were you wearing full gear?
Nothing. I was wearing full leathers, everything, full face helmet, but just the way that the truck hit me, it basically just flipped, spun me, and sat me on my butt.
Damn.
Again, the job and having the dark sense of humor kind of helped out with the recovery, because all we did was laugh. It was to the point that we were laughing and joking so much that they came in like, hey, they're like, we're gonna shut the door because like we can hear you laughing and making pirate jokes from the nursing station. Like, we're gonna shut the door, and
That's hilarious. Yeah.
So that's my thing. Is if you laugh through it, you get through it.
So my name is Chantel Forrest, and my amputation was April 28th of last year.
Oh wow, so still pretty new.
So I had a traumatic injury while playing roller derby, and I had a triple compound fracture, and my foot went the other way, and it was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
It was pretty gnarly. But they were able to attach my foot back on because it was kind of not really attached, but the doctors were able to attach it. And then I spent 7.5 years, almost 8 years, trying to recover the function of it. So I had multiple surgeries, over half a dozen surgeries. And then my last surgery before this was an ankle fusion. And I had that for a little over 2 years, and I struggled with that and pain and mobility. I walked with a cane completely, and it was painful. And so when I asked my doctor what's the next step, he said, well, you can get on pain medication, and I'm a social worker by trade. I currently run a program in Merced. It's an enhanced care management program through Medi-Cal, and it basically is case management for people that impacts their health. So things that aren't health related, but say you need transportation to get to medical appointments, maybe you need nutritious food, maybe you need all those things. So that program helps coordinate that. And then I'm currently waiting to start actually work in Stockton at the prison there as a clinical social worker, because I just got my ASW licensure with the state, and I didn't want to have to give that up. So I was online, and I was on some like ankle fusion groups, and then I kind of dabbled in the whole realm of what is it like to be an amputee. But I didn't know any amputees personally, so I connected with a lot of them actually on Facebook and different groups like that. And then I kind of just saw what their life was like. And then, you have to go, I already knew what the one path looked like for me. And so I was like, well, I'm almost 40 at that point in time. So I'm like, well, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? And so, of course, I have a family, and my kids had already watched me struggle like with mobility. And I was honestly kind of tired of watching my family enjoy life on the sidelines, where I'm sitting like, on the bench, they're at the beach, they're doing all these fun things, and I'm like wanting to be a part of it and missing the life that I had before. So I said, well, let's get rid of it. I want to take the chance, because there's of course no guarantee that everything will work out correctly, and I'm thankful that I did. I have no regrets.
So did you go somewhere else first? How did it
So
work?
I was originally with Hanger.
Okay.
And I was with Hanger, and about the time that I was getting my leg from Hanger was when the AMP group was opening up. My mother-in-law was like, hey, through a friend of a friend of a friend, she had heard about this, and they're like, you should go check it out. I'm like, yeah, why not? So I popped into their grand opening. I was still on an aisle walk, hadn't had a leg yet, and got talking with them, saw the facilities he had with all of the, the walking bars and all that stuff. I was like, dude, that's exactly what I need, to get back to the job. And so I started coming here and just doing workouts, and then eventually I just ended up transitioning to come in here full time for all my prosthetic care, period. Yeah. And I spent the first 6-7 months that I had a leg, or that I got my leg, treating it like a 9 to 5. I was here the moment that he opened. I was here for an hour or two, and some days I do 2 a days. Like, it was just one of those things. He would push me as hard as I wanted to be. Yeah. First, like, I got down to walking, and it was real important to me to have the, like, nobody can tell. So if I'm wearing pants, my gait, walk, everything is dialed, thanks to Trevor, and it was just countless hours behind those bars. And then it was like, okay, cool, I'm going back to work. We started doing a lot of functional fitness stuff and figuring out how to, squat with the weight and, doing all the carrying awkward different weights on either side.
Typical firefighter stuff, yeah. Every day.
Exactly. And then I'd go to work once I started going back to light duty and figuring out, okay, how do I do the firefighting side of it? I'd go to work, something wouldn't work out, I'd come in the next morning, hey, or I'd message him that day, hey, this didn't work out, I need to fix this. Okay, cool. We'd have a workout plan tailored to that. And so it was just really awesome having that availability from him to just be like, hey, I need this is what we're doing, and he finds some way to be able to simulate it, whether it was carrying a ladder, okay, I'm gonna awkwardly carry a 45-pound bar with no weight on the back, and see that transit, just little things like that. It kind of surprised me that something like this isn't more regular kind of thing. But it just, it made sense to me. I was, from the first time I came in and met him at the open house to when I came back in, he still remembered my name, all of my kids' names, my wife's name, like it was very personable. And that first, for me, was like, all right, cool. And just, he was very invested in me and getting me back. And
you didn't feel like another number.
That was the biggest thing. I was not a number. I was a person to him. I was a friend. And in my mind, God willing, I'm going to know him the rest of my life. We're going to have this relationship the rest of my life until one of us passes on or goes on and does another thing. And so to me, it was like, you need to have that personal relationship, not just the number side of it. Yeah.
For me, since I was an elective amputee, if you want to call it that, and it was scheduled, it wasn't traumatically done, right at the, impact or whatever. But I had time to kind of shop around, and I knew my goal was I wanted to get back to that life that I had before. And I knew that recovery was going to be hard. And, after each surgery I had, it got harder to recover each time because you lose a little bit each surgery you had, right?
And the energy of the mental, you lose the momentum.
100%. And so when I came here, I was like, okay, well, they have a gym here, like it's nice, like they have community events. And so I was also kind of worried about like, well, what is it? What does your life look like socially after, because some people say like they lose their community when they become an amputee. Some people gain it, right? It changes for a lot of people. And so when I met Trevor, he's like, no, we're going to do like community events. Like there's all these people here, like, and, obviously like having the setup in the back, I was like, I could see myself using that as a tool to help me gain my mobility back. And I did. I mean, I don't, I used a cane for almost 4 years straight, every single day, all day long. Never left without a cane. And do I still bring it on long trips?
Yeah, of course.
Sure, just in case. But like I can go and navigate the community now, and I don't use it. And so to be able to gain that back is all thanks to the work I did here, and of course, work I put in outside of here, because Trevor doesn't have all the answers. We all have to put in our own work too, right?
It doesn't work if it's not working
for sure. But like he gave me the confidence and the ability to say like, hey, like you can do it. And he was always a great cheerleader. And the other amputees that I've met through here, like it's been a huge blessing.
What attracted you to the limber leg? Did you have another leg that you're using? Is this the only leg you're using?
Yeah, so when I came to the open house, he had the that leg sitting right there, the limber leg.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I was like, that thing is badass. That looks super cool. The tentacle look thing. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I want it. Like, just because it looks cool.
I've been an amputee for 16 years. I've had more people comment on this leg than I have any of my legs.
It's a head turner. And then I'm an outdoor person. You know, my family, we hunt, we fish, we ride motorcycles, we do all the things. So getting into the rivers, and I was just, it never factored into me. And then so when I was talking to Trevor, I was like, what is that thing? What is that? He's like, oh, yada, yada, yada. It can be used as a shower leg. And I was like, oh, I didn't think about that because of corroding in the metal. I just figured, you know, aluminum, something, you know. But I was like, cool, like, let's do that. My leg hadn't stabilized yet. You know, it was brand new amputee.
Still shrinking.
So he's like, hey, let's pump the brakes on that. Let's wait. So I just chomping at the bit. And so finally, once I had atrophied enough and we got into a socket that was going to last me a long time, I was like, can we do it now? He's like, yes, cool. Pulled the trigger on it. Got it. And originally, like I said, I got it to shower, have the independence to shower at work, independence to go to the pool with my kids, go down to the river, fish, play with the dogs, all of that kind of stuff. I got it, started wearing it, and the first thing I noticed was like, oh my God, the weight difference.
Dude, yes, that was big for me
The
too.
drastic weight difference, man. Like, it felt like I was taking gigantic steps, you know? And the way I described it to Trevor, I was like, it felt like obviously I can feel my residual limb. It felt like I was standing on a little bit of a platform and that was it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel anything with the leg. I was like, this is wild. And so I was wearing it more and more and more and more just for the weight difference, giving my leg the time off from work, you know, like, oh my God. As soon as I take it off, it's, you know, taking a 10-pound dumbbell off the bottom of my foot. And then it just kind of transitioned to, this is my everyday leg. If I'm not at work, I'm in this thing, you know, and at work, I'm using it at showers. We're going to be switching my next socket to the same pin system as this. So ideally, I'm going to be able to walk around on my limber leg at work, do all my normal medical aid stuff, grass fires, I'll be able to do with it because I'm not going to take too much heat to where it'll you know, manipulate it at all. And then for the structure fire stuff, where it'll obviously take the high heat, then I'll have a traditional carbon fiber socket with that high line. The hard thing and the biggest worry for me, and it was also the biggest drive to get back to being henny capable, if you will, was just my family doesn't stop. My kid, I have two young girls, 11 and 7. Like I said, we're very active in hunting and fishing and going and traveling and doing all this stuff. And I was like, I don't want my family's life to stop because of what happened to me. And so it was a complete game changer for me. And I've got so much trust in it and I believe in it so much.
Trevor has them on here, over here on the wall, right? And so I was like, well, what is that? And for fun, I mean, I love to travel. Me and my husband like to travel, and I have gotten back into gardening. My mobility is definitely a lot better. So like I don't walk with a cane, and that has kind of like opened up a whole new world for me. So I've been able to get back into snorkeling. I've done a lot of cruises. We're going to Hawaii next month. Like there's lots of just kind of those things. So, mom, cleaning the house, cooking food, all those things, right, too. And I was like, I want to get back in the water. I do a lot of lap swimming, you know, in the pool, and like obviously having something that works in all those situations was huge for me. So I was able to, you know, walk on the beach, do all those things with it, and not have to worry about, you know, what's going to happen with it. And also to be able to stand in the shower, pretty amazing. That was the best feeling in the world the first time I stood in the shower. So that was kind of, just for a logistics, you know, factor, we only have 2 restrooms in our house. I had my shower stool in my kids' restroom, you know, because mine wasn't accessible. And so to be able to kind of get rid of that extra piece of adaptive equipment, give them back that space, and then be able to, you know, stand like I did before. You know, gain that little piece back was huge for me. The weight is a huge thing for me. Like I remember telling Trevor when I got it, I was like, I have to like look, when I first got it, I would look literally at it and be like, is it attached? Is it going to, if I walk on it, like, is it going to be there? You know, because it's such a significant weight difference. And so it took me a little bit to trust it, to be able to be like, okay, is this actually going to hold me? Is it going to move? Like, because it's, you know, there's a whole conceptual of it's just plastic, like it's gonna break, you know, all those things, and everything I've been able to put it through has been fine. Like as a woman, right, like being an amputee, there's a different sort of you know, you have to be like put together, or you know, whatever that is, like socially stigma, right? And so like to be able to have one where I'm like, okay, I could trash this leg, I know it's gonna handle whatever I want to do, and then I still have a leg that like could look nice for office meetings or work or whatever like
Yep.
that. It's been huge.
Yeah. So for anybody who's on the fence about trying a limber leg, what would you say to them?
I would say give it a shot.
Don't be on the fence, jump into it, man.
I was able to do a Caribbean cruise. I did the most steps I've ever done as a fusion person or an amputee. I did 13,000 steps on my leg.
For the shower leg, but the weight difference. Yeah, my big thing is swinging my heavy boots and whatnot. It was causing hot spots and sores and ingrown hairs and everything just from that weight transfer.
On my limber leg, I did 88,000 steps on a cruise, and that was my most steps I was ever able to take before. And the limber leg helped me do that.
Well, cool, man. It was great getting to know you and talking
Absolutely.
with you. We're here at the AMP group. You can follow along there.
Yes.
This journey will be posted on my YouTube, The Adventurous Amputee, my Instagram, The Adventurous Amputee, as well as McMorris Prosthetic Service. Alec is my co-partner in this whole journey, and he'll be doing all the editing because I'm just so busy traveling right now. But it was really nice to meet you.
Hey, it was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thank you for
very
letting us
much.
do this, and
Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to keep up with your journey, man.